here we are, a second time in 2 years, and I'm so grateful you're coming back to see us and to inspire us. Thank you again for coming over.
Of course.
Thank you for your work, for everything you do for us as parents and as humans, because you awaken us every time you talk about us and to us. Technology is a big subject, right? In families, and some families find it as a savior, and some families find it as a saboteur, let's say. What's your take on technology and families and children, and what's your feeling? Can it be both, or is it just a bad thing that happens into our life?
I think if we don't create clear guidelines, people get confused. So technology is one of those things that I think, and now my daughter's 21. If I had to do it again, I would 100% till the age of 14, 15 say no to technology, because technology sounds good, you see, but it's not technology. It's screen addiction, you know.
Okay.
It's a drug. If you say technology, what does it really
True.
mean? It's not GPS. It's not a Google dictionary or a puzzle. It's you're giving your kids access to the World Wide Web without censorship, without editing, without supervision. That is the danger. And if parents think that, oh, no, I can censor, yeah, you will be fighting every day with your children, you know. So children till the age of 14, 15, for sure, don't need it. So why are we giving them not only something they don't need, but that is very likely addictive and toxic, right? So a mother just came to me the other day and said, you know, my child has ADHD. He doesn't have many friends. He's 9.5. All the friends have a WhatsApp group and he's out of the WhatsApp group. What should I do, right? So it appears, oh, this is so lovely. It's benevolent. It's for friends. But then when you step back, you have to ask yourself, well, what kind of friends are these that they need to text? You didn't text, I didn't text at 9. So number one, are they really good friends? Number two, shouldn't he be with friends in the neighborhood for play dates? Why do we need to text? Number three, who said that that is a good thing to be connected at that level? We're thinking it's a good thing because we're thinking from the adult brain, but for a 9-year-old? And then number four, why can't the parent censor it? And then they can mediate it.
Sure.
But to hand a child a drug in their pocket 24/7, you wouldn't send them to a pharmacy without supervision. You wouldn't send them to a party without supervision. You wouldn't send them on the road without supervision. How are you giving them access to the World Wide Web without extreme supervision? And it is dangerous. And I have 9-year-old parents, 10-year-old parents coming to me telling me, my child has watched porn, my child has seen assassinations and murders. Well, obviously. So why are we doing this?
I think as parents and as adults, we don't even recognize the level of information they can get in. Because I'm just shocked you telling me that they've seen already assassinations on social media.
Of course. It's so easy to access, right? There's no guardrails. You know, if I had to, start my whole parenting again, but I only gave the phone when my daughter was 13 or 14, and even then, it's one of my biggest regrets. So people are talking about giving the phone at 7 and 9. There is no need, and it is toxic. So I am absolutely binary.
Can I ask you, what did you tell your daughter when she asked for like a phone when she was 9, 10, 11?
No, I'm very old. Hello. There was no phone at 9, 10, 11.
When your daughter...
13 and 14.
Okay.
But when I was the first generation to cross over.
Okay.
So we were so excited.
Yeah.
We're like, this is candy. This is bubbles and, snowflakes. We were like, this is amazing. And I remember her begging me for Instagram, and I had no idea that they are manipulative, that they study the psychology of the child, they understand how dopamine works. We had no information. So I was like, oh, of course. I felt like I was giving my daughter like a way to connect.
Yeah.
Right? We thought it was social. We didn't realize it was antisocial. And now the best I can do is educate other parents. And I can tell you, when I gave it, that was the beginning of the end. I never saw my daughter the same after that.
And what did, because let's say my daughter comes in, she's only 5, so we still have, although she asked for a phone, and I said, why? Well, she has a nice phone case, so she wants to use the phone case. But what can I tell her? Can I tell her it's not safe for her, or that mommy decides so, or what did you tell your daughter? Sorry, baby, you cannot have it now because.
Yeah, but for me, it was different time, yes? Because the minute my daughter was 13, 14 was when the phone came out.
That's when the phone came out.
Yes, so we thought it was, so yes, I'm very much older than you. You have like, so it was not there, the smartphone, yes?
Okay,
so we were all excited. We were all super excited. It was like the thing to have, and it was like social status, and we had no idea what was coming. No idea. Till 10 years ago, nobody really talked about it. So you parents, if you are raising a child under the age of 15, it should be absolutely as clear as you asking me, should I give my daughter some heroin? It's that clear. Like you have all the research to show you. And it's black or white. Would you give your daughter alcohol? Mommy, give me some beer. No. So it's like that. Finish. It is that bad.
We jump from one subject to another. I completely share your opinion.
But they're the same subject. It's drugs.
Yes. But what do you do when parents disagree on this? Let's say one parent says, it cannot be that bad. And
then they just don't understand how the brain works and how these algorithms are designed. And they should do a deep dive before they expose their children to strangers on the web, material that is restricted, like R rating. It's like most of it is R. It is not designed for an adult, for a child's brain. Now, if you watch Mrs. Rachel, those cute little YouTube, yes, you can be there, watch. But to give the child access without you there is what I'm talking about.
Because we have movie nights.
Movie night, Miss Rachel. I don't even know who, Dora the Explorer. I don't remember. I'm dating myself. But of course, you can have entertainment. There's a difference between entertainment and technology. Yes. The new age is the technological age.
And with AI, it's just gonna get.
Right. So I'm writing 2 books now that will come out in September next year.
I cannot.
Same time next year.
Congratulations.
On how do we raise Gen Z and Alpha children? Your children are Alpha.
Okay. Yeah.
Alpha. It's just a name. But how do we confront the challenges of hyper exposure, over sexualization, constantly comparing, violence, body shaming? I mean, for girls, the issues, I just finished the girls' book and then I'm writing the boys' book. The issues are a laundry list and they are severe. Like I've been interviewing 100 children, 50 girls, 50 boys, and they'll tell me things like, girls are cutting online, like they have hashtags for it. And then the girls watching think it's a trend and it's like popular. So they will do it because they have this identification. So girls are very susceptible. You know how we girls are.
Yes.
We go together, we bond, we have much higher number of mirror neurons. So what you feel, I will feel, I connect to you. So if I see a girl on the internet who I like, she's a little famous, she's a pop star, she talks about her anorexia, then I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should be anorexic.
Nice thing to do.
It's like a contagious infection.
How much society do you think should play a role in it? And I'm talking about regulations. I'm
Yes,
talking
they
about
should be.
laws.
Yes.
I'm talking about.
Yes.
I've seen the debates in the American government with, Meta and everything else, and I just wonder if, just like you have laws for gun laws and driving licenses for a certain age, and I think the European Commission has now agreed for social media for an age limit of like 16. I think we should work there as well, right? And I believe there should be a commission of psychologists and people who understand how it affects in order to make laws. If you were to make a law about cell phones, but not only cell phones, social media, with what age would you?
Yes, no screens till 16.
Okay.
Just take it off the list so then you're not fighting, and it should be a law and schools shouldn't allow it. But parents need to see it. If a parent really saw the brain scans and the difference of the brain, of a brain addicted to social media and a brain not addicted, they would see it for themselves, But, it's convenient for the parent to have their child
Engaged.
addicted. Yeah.
Wouldn't it show also a reflection of the parent being maybe somehow addicted to the screen?
Yes.
Because I heard there was a study that says parents' screen time influences children's screen time.
Obviously, right? So if the parent is checked out, not paying attention, it's so nice, when everyone's on their screen, the house is quiet. Everybody's where you left them. But the cost of it is that the child's brain is getting flooded with such high level dopamine that then normal activities like, skipping and jumping is not going to be interesting because they need more dopamine to get them excited. And we are seeing a generation of children who are teenagers now. They don't go out as much. They are not even engaging in sex as much. They're not engaging in risky behavior because it's not interesting as much as it is to be on a video game. But it's designed this way, yes? It's not the child's fault. They purposely design it like that.
It almost sounds vicious. And
it is manipulative to keep you there. Because if they keep you there, then the ads come. And when the ads come, then you, by mistake, you press it. Now you go into the ads. Then they send you more ads. They are monitoring your eyeballs and the movement. I get scared to look at anything because you look at something too much, that's it. You see, you get more and more.
It's true because I was just talking to my husband the other day and we said the word.
And it'll show up, yes.
And it will show up. Yes. And it's just unbelievable. And I think, is there, from your point of view, would it a training to our kids? Should we train our kids how, when we hand them over technology, we train them to drive. We train them how to look for information, to disseminate information.
Yes, so I am creating right now a course for well-being, digital well-being. You're absolutely right. Like, make sure your child knows what it does, how long, and then keep renegotiating the contract, right? You have to have a contract. Do you know how to use the car, right?
Sure.
If the kid keeps crashing, at some point you send him back to learn or take the keys away. The same with the phone. It's even more deadly because it looks so perfect,
And they get to hide it.
Yes.
What are some red flags parents should look for in their children when they have technology at their hands?
They cannot get off. Like, you're like, come on, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5, and now you're fighting. They are in a bad mood. Worse with the technology, they're irritable, they're moody, they don't want to get out of their room, they don't want to do their activities, they don't want to go out. They'll
see it.
And they will just be lying there till they're 30 years old.
And I also heard there's like the withdrawal symptoms.
Yes, of course.
So when parents should expect that when they take the technology away, let's say, but if you decide to give and then you decide to, can you retract it?
Of course.
Yeah.
You should be able to. That's what I would say, that think 20 times before you give,
Yeah.
because to take something away is harder.
That's what
then
I'm
you're
thinking
the
about,
bad
control,
person.
ego.
Yes, yes. So you have to give it very slowly, and you can't then, it's hard, but you can do it. You just have to do a shutdown. But if your child is 17, it's not going to work.
Okay.
I mean, it can work, but they are bigger than you. You have to, it's scary. But that's why you have to create these habits young.
Young.
Yeah.
How young?
First, you don't give it,
Yeah.
right? So they will annoy you. Mommy, please, everybody has a phone. So very young age, you have to tell them at 5, at 6, you will come and annoy me every day. I'm telling you right now. No, mommy, I won't annoy you. Yes, you will annoy me from 7 to 15. Give me a phone. I'm telling you right now, don't, because you're not getting it. So you train them.
Okay.
Nothing's going to work. It's like alcohol. No, nothing. So they're already ready for the battle that they're going to lose.
Okay.
Then you say no, and you have to be strong.
Okay.
And then when you do give it, you have to try it out, right? Let's do a trial period.
Okay.
Let's have consequences. Okay, if you violate the contract, you have to do 7 chores.
Mm-hmm.
You have to clean all the windows, mow the lawn, do extra things. You have to make it up. Go to community service, take all the dogs in the neighborhood for a walk. I don't know. Make it difficult for them.
Okay.
But you have to take it that seriously. See, when our generation gave the phone, we just gave it. Here, take the gun.
That's how I received the phone.
Yeah.
I was going on my first school trip.
Yeah.
And I remember asking for a phone, but there was no...
How old were you?
Oh my goodness. 8, 9?
Wow.
But there was no internet connection.
Yeah.
Romania at least got an internet connection much later.
Yeah.
And there was a different type of...
Yeah.
I mean, although I did have Facebook when it started, 2007, but there was not the same connection.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now I see generations of older generations.
Right.
So grandparents who are doom scrolling, just sitting there and scrolling. And we just had one grandparent over at one point, and I turned because the child was also my daughter was asking me, why is grandma sitting there and scrolling all the time? And I had no answer but to tell her to, shut down the phone, because it's an example. You set up an example to...
Oh my God, child. Yeah. I couldn't believe when I saw kids, in my daughter's age, how they can sit for hours and just because it's just one more thing. And you don't have to focus. It's so lovely, right? You just get entertained constantly. You don't have to get into a movie or the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why kids don't read, because reading takes a lot of focus and concentration.
True.
And the climate around social media has changed now in the last 5 years. Before COVID, as an influencer, I could make long videos and people would pay attention.
Yes.
Now I have to do it under 3 minutes.
Save it.
Yes, and it's impossible. I'm always going over, and I'm like, forget it, because the algorithm rewards those people who do short.
Yeah.
And then rewards you, because the more you do short, you keep going faster and faster, and you don't get tired because you just keep the dopamine goes.
Okay.
If you do one and you use your brain too much,
you might
you're
close
done.
the phone.
You close it because you're tired of thinking. So we're raising a generation of dumbos, because they're not thinking. Too much thinking, you get tired. When you read a book like my books, after one page, you're like, I'm done. Right? It takes 2 years to read a book because it's so much thinking. So that is not being rewarded. They're going to keep you entertained. And something on politics, something on beauty, something on sports. So you keep going and you stay for a long time and you don't get exhausted. I mean, you do get exhausted, but you don't feel it.
Yeah. And then
it's so exciting.
I'm just now I have a lot of information for thinking, and since I'm not there yet, I haven't really thought about technology.
You're so
in my
lucky.
kids.
By the time you get to it, hopefully there will be.
I'm really hoping about it, because it seems like we're in a cloud where we're just settling in the laws and the good behavior. Although I do remember when I was in school, there was a huge hit. Wikipedia was on, right? So everyone was trying to tell us in school that Wikipedia is not a reliable source because anyone can write something on Wikipedia. So they taught us on how to look in databases and how to look for the right information. And I just think it's a way we should move on with our kids as well. Technology can be tricky, but if we I wanted to talk about a little bit about a very sensitive subject as well, that it's not really close to technology, but it seems more and more today as an invoked reason for separations in families and divorces. And I know there are I get a lot of messages from mothers especially who say, oh, look, I cannot seem to get on the same page with my spouse or my partner on how we should deal with the children. And whatever I try to teach, whatever I try to show, to give examples, to feed information, and they just, at one point, they come out and say, it's not working for us. From a child's point of view, what does a child need then? Because I got the question, how do I do this to the child the easiest way possible? I know what the parents should do. I know how they should do it. But from the child's point of view, what should we care for when we put the child in such a position?
You know, it's not easy. If the child is under 15, 16, you know, between 7 and 16 is that tender time when they're not yet innocent. They're not innocent anymore. So you can't fool them. You know what I mean by fool them. Like they're exposed. And then they're not yet
fully capable of understanding.
They're not fully capable even till 28, you know, but at least better, you know. So 7 to 17 is a rough period. I always tell mothers, if I see that it's coming, I'm like, do it before. Like, if I see it at 2 years old, I'm like, this is going to happen. Like, do it now. And they don't believe me. And then at 7, they're like, I should have done it.
You can sense it?
Well, not all the time. But sometimes the writing is on the wall. No, it's like clear. Like, it's been going on forever, you know? I'm like, so, but many times it's not clear. So it's not an easy answer. You have to weigh it. You have to talk to somebody. You have to think about it. You cannot rush to it because the child gets affected, especially if there are 2 houses. It's very hard for a child. But what is harder for a child is constant fighting, constant abuse. The mother is not okay. And why do I say the mother? Because now research has shown the number one indicator of a child's well-being is the mother's well-being. So if the mother is miserable, you know, but it's not easy. I would say try to go to somebody who can create an arrangement. You know, in my work as a coach, I arrange lots of things like you sleep downstairs, you sleep upstairs. Don't talk to each other. You know, you come up when she goes to sleep. Like, we have to arrange it because the children cannot suffer like this. You know, it's not fair for the children to suffer.
That's interesting. Most people, I mean, not most people, society teaches us that when you say the mother's well-being is the most important, sometimes is that whatever we call most important and healthy for the mother is detrimental to the child. And what I'm saying is society sometimes says, oh, your child is 6 months old, 1 year old, you can go on girls' trips now because, you know, your health matters and your well-being matters. And they're trying to create a divide between the mother and the child, as in with the reasoning that that's healthy for the mother.
Really?
I've seen a lot of messages in social media saying, and even sleep training, while, you know, we talked about this last year, where I have mothers who come, look, I'm either parenting alone or my husband's really working or we have difficulties in many aspects of our life. But the child seems to be the one paying the price at the end of it all. So I think we are also, from the book about women, I think the role of women is important But is there a cascading importance in roles of women, or is it just, how do you see it?
Right.
Can you be a mom? Is more importantly to be a mom
I
in the
know.
first years, or is it you should be a wife, a
I know.
sister?
I know.
How is it?
It's very hard. It's not, ideally, of course, the mother should take care of herself,
Yeah.
the woman in
Yeah.
her. But at what limit, It's like you are a woman in context. You're a mother. So you're a woman and a mother more.
Mm.
So, but you cannot be a mother if the woman in you is dying. If the woman in you is dying, so in a way that messaging, I think, means that take care of the woman in you.
Is in you. And
Then the mother in you can flourish. Because no point being a mother if the woman is dying. But what you're saying is, okay, you're taking care of the woman. What about the mother and the child, right? That context.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. But you're right. In the early years, I think that the mother role has to take the center stage. And then your aspirations, your ambitions have to be back. So for me, I worked all my life. I was a PhD writing books. But I had a very clear obsession that the child is in the center.
Okay.
Whatever I did at night or when she was busy, and I never used to travel like this, and only after a certain age, then I went crazy. Then I would travel all the time. My daughter's like, you're never home. That's okay. But you can do that, but it has to be after the child is now capable a little bit, But in the early years, the child does need one reliable, safe, consistent caregiver. It could be grandma or auntie, one. And you can hand over the baton, but you have to have that village.
Okay. Yeah. There are a lot of people who say
it doesn't have to be only the mother. It can be a network.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are saying we don't have villages anymore. We don't have grandmothers.
Exactly.
We don't have, and here comes in the paid help. We have nannies now taking over, and I'm lucky enough to be able to afford help because I wouldn't be able to do this. I love the fact that your message is very clear on perfect parenting. We strive to be the perfect parent, here comes our ego, but also what I'm trying to say is last Friday specifically, I lost it. I lost it at my kids. I lost it at my husband. I lost it at everyone around me. It was the first time when I actually raised my voice to my 2.5-year-old because, well, this was very overwhelming. And I carried that guilt and I still carry it with me. What message would you give to a parent or to me when it comes to perfect parenting and trying to do other stuff or just conscious parenting? While I was doing it, I was conscious of it, but I just, it happened. It came out. I couldn't do it. I'm not saying it's okay. But I'm just wondering, what's a message for all those? I see a lot of women who are anxious about their mistakes because also the information that we're fed is that we traumatize our kids every step along the way.
Right.
We screamed, we traumatized. We took away something, we traumatized. We did that, we traumatized.
I know, it's so hard. And I think my message has, of course, contributed to that a little bit, I think. A little bit. If someone doesn't fully understand the message, they think, oh, I wasn't conscious, I've messed it up, now I'm going to pass down my trauma, right?
You can be a good enough parent. That's what I got from your message, because there's no perfect parenting, right? And I always repeat it.
Yes. So I think the deeper part of my message is connected to your problem, which I think can help every parent. You have to get used to the fact that you will do this another 100 times. It is going to happen. So if you accept it, now imagine when you were pregnant, part of the job description was, be nice, be compassionate, be loving, be patient, and then deal with it when you lose your shit. Deal with it. Like that's part of the package. So yes, now you have to go through the guilt. there's no I shouldn't have done it. There is no human being who can live without having done it in some way, either through neglect or yelling or some snatching or pushing, something. You're going to do something crazy that you think you never would do. Now, if you accept it, then you go, here's the guilt, here's part of the job description. Now, how do I handle guilt? You have to learn how to handle guilt. It is like a skill, because guilt is part of parenting.
How do you handle guilt?
I mean, badly, and then I sometimes do it well. So badly means I overdo it, right?
Okay, yeah,
Fix
that's
it, lick them, kiss them, buy them, take them, yes, like you overdo it, right? You become a saint for like the next whatever, extra, superhuman, ridiculous. That's also crazy, right? They never see you get upset. That is insane, right? But we go crazy. So you do the bad things, sorry, feel bad. Or you beat yourself and you keep thinking and ruminating. So that's the typical ways of handling guilt. The healthy way of handling guilt is to recognize that guilt is coming from two places. One is your own self-loathing, right? It's another excuse to be hard on myself. Okay, so people who already are critical do very well with guilt. They're like, love guilt, guilt loves them. Now they're like, oh my God, I did this. And they'll spend 25 sessions in therapy talking about it. Okay, but the therapist doesn't realize it has nothing to do with what happened. It is a pattern of beating myself, right? So that's one reason. And another reason is connected to perfection. The parent has such an ego that they are not like any other human being ever to live. They will never lose it. They will never raise their voice. It's not possible. So when that parent has that image of themselves and then they fall and they do the unthinkable, get drunk. I'm talking about like across the board, have an affair, yell at their kid, hit somebody. Like, what? Where did my hand come and I hit somebody? The unthinkable. Half the problem is that they cannot get over the fact that they did it. So they spend the next, I don't know how many hours, they cannot believe they did it. It's not feeling bad that they did it. That's the other one. This one is they cannot believe that they did it. And it comes from a narcissism and ego that this is not possible. This part is not possible. And the person needs to understand that it is possible. You just didn't see this side of you till you were triggered in this way. And what I like to do is then channel that guilt into compassion for every human being who's been an asshole to you. Because now you're like, oh, see?
Yeah.
Look, I was an asshole to my beautiful 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Now I understand why she was I understand. And then when you multiply that, you understand everybody's shadow, and you actually become a better human being for seeing your shadow. But pretending you don't have a shadow and you can never have a shadow is the most dangerous kind of human being. So I'm very happy. Now I'll be your friend, because now you have come to my level. Otherwise, you were walking around like an angel, right? You did, right? You were like, I've not yet messed it up. I remember the first time I messed it up, it was like, oh my God, just till yesterday, I was an angel. Now I'm a criminal. Yeah. I remember thinking I have joined the criminals.
I read your post when you said you shouted at your baby girl, and you saw the light.
Yes, go out of the. Yes, you saw it.
Yes, of course I saw it, and I found myself, because that's what I saw in my child's eye, is the light dimming a little bit, and it's heartbreaking.
Right, because you thought you were painting the perfect canvas, and now the painting is messed up. And you cannot go back and undo it, It's like your new car, and now you've dented it. But a car is a car.
Yeah.
This is like you're thinking, what scratch on this kid's psyche for the rest of her life. Guess what? This is the human experience. So having the stomach to digest this is part of also mothering. You're beautiful, you're amazing, but you're also messed up, and you have to have the courage to see yourself with the shadow and the light. And to see your shadow as a mother who has been so bad, like, not what's the word, like unconscious, hurt your child. Sometimes you're like, good, I yelled at you. You know, you do that too when they annoy you a lot. You'll be like, good, I yelled at you. You'll do crazy things. But to see that side of you, to me, has been so humanizing. Because if I can do it, when I say I love this person, they are my blood, right? Like, who else would I love more? And I'm still such an asshole. Wow. I like, it humbles me. Because I won't now judge too many people. Like, I can't judge anybody. You've like lost the ability to judge now. So now when a parent comes to you and says, oh my God, I hit my 15-year-old, you'll understand instead of judging them. Then you will give them peace. And we collectively. Now, but this sounds like, oh, Dr. Shefali, you're giving permission to everybody. It's not. When you have compassion for yourself, now you do the deeper work to ask, what was going on in me that made me lose myself? And I forgot myself. I forgot to care about myself. I didn't have good boundaries. Now you do the deeper work. Yes, that's part 2.
Yes.
But most people get stuck in part 1, which is hating themselves or going, how did I do it? How could I do it? So guilt stops us. Compassion invites us. It's a lot of work. This is a whole new kind of parenting with guilt.
True.
It's a whole new technique.
Speaking of being stuck, one of the other questions I saw myself having difficulty answering is, what happens with members of the family, of extended family, let's say aunts, grandparents, you name it, who are stuck in some patterns? And mostly what people ask me is, what do I do with grandparents or my in-laws who come over and have some really not healthy patterns for my child? How bad am I to put boundaries? Because everyone says, and grandparents can be angels, you know, like a second mother and a second father to the child. But how bad am I to set boundaries and maybe not build a relationship with what could be not so healthy?
Again, it depends on how bad is bad. You know, if it's bad, like really bad, you want to create a boundary. But the other hand, it's a good way to teach your children. You know, grandma is, yes, she's very difficult. I mean, don't invalidate your child. Yes, grandma is hurt. She hurt you. I understand. You know, I get it. She hurt me too. And let's talk about it. I mean, I cannot get rid of grandma, but I understand you. Tell me how I can help you. You know, in India, for example, many times, you know, grandparents are very interfering or controlling, or they'll say things like, oh, you look like you're so fat today. Or what happened? You look old. Like uncensored, right? And I remember my daughter saying, my God, these people are so rude. I said, yeah, I wish I could edit, you know, brush their teeth or something, but I cannot. This is how they are. So you take it in from one ear and you learn to handle different kinds of crazy. I think if we become very fragile and go, oh, you crazy? You don't come to my house. You crazy? You were rude? You don't come. And you create this utopia, bubble, then what is the fun of life? No, we have to say that's that kind of crazy, and we know how to deal with this crazy. We know how to deal with this crazy.
So it becomes an ability.
It becomes a strength, but again, of course, depends on the level. If grandpa is molesting the kid, no. If grandma is cursing, drinking, screaming, you know. But if it's just in the range of crazy that is okay, acceptable, entertaining, you turn it into a superpower. Like, okay, what would you say to grandma? What can we do together? Let's think about it. Can we understand? Can we forgive her? Can we let it go? Can we ignore? These are all skills that you need to learn. Versus, I don't like grandma. Okay, I'm not calling grandma home. No. You know, when we lived together, we had to deal with people. And I think we're becoming so intolerant of people, you know. My daughter was just with me in India and she said, you know, you guys are not normal. You know, you'll make a big deal out of everything. And a part of me wanted to defend and say, no, look at it this way. And I just said, you're right. this is it. Now you know when you come to this house, we make a big deal out of everything. So choose what you say. Because if you say, oh, I'm hungry, we will make 50 dishes for you. So you think, this is how these people, I was like, you need to think, don't make me change. Because what we're doing sometimes is we tell the child, I'll change the world for you. No, you change for the world. Like, so I told her, don't come to my house in India, you know, like my family. This is how we are. And she looked at me like, oh, you're not going to do anything about it? I was like, I cannot do anything. You have to accept, when you walk in here, everybody's going to make a big deal out of everything you... This is how we show love in this
our
house.
Our cultures are pretty similar. I have to, so don't say you're hungry because we're going
to... But the point being, versus fixing my parents and Indian culture for the precious child, you know, I tell my child, you're not precious. This is the way it is. Because it's within the range of normal to a little crazy. It's not toxic. If it was toxic, I would do something about it, you know? But if a relative says to a child, you know, you look horrible, is it that toxic if it's once in a while, you know? But if it's it's consistent abuse.
So it's context-based.
It's context, and I think sometimes we make it too cozy for our children. Oh, he said you looked horrible. Let's not call him anymore. Why? Let him say, what do you feel about yourself, right? It's a way to teach the child to have their own value without having to change the world, right? We don't have to change the world just because our child cries that grandpa hurt me. Again, depends on the level of the abuse, you know.
I like that because I believe in being our child's protector, at least for like many years. But I also think not into becoming a criticizer and judge of the world, but I do like to, you know, my baby girl notices parents at the playground hitting their children or saying that they'll abandon them, and she's starting to sense, and she turns to me and says, that's not okay, like, and it becomes an opportunity to talk about it and to a learning experience. Although my first instinct is to, you know, try to
shield her.
And try to not let her look that way. And although it's hard.
Yes, you cannot wrap them up. How much can you protect? But I agree with you. When they're young, you want to protect more. And as they grow older, they can be exposed.
One last message for the parented community that will see you speak in a few days. If there's one idea you would send them for the year of 2025, or what would it be? If you can look at the camera and send our community a message.
I think the main message I would give all parents is that this relationship with your children, especially when they are under the age of 20, is so unique and has so much potential for your growth that if you miss it by being too busy, by being too focused on grades and vacations and things, but not the real relationship, you are going to miss your greatest opportunity to grow.